Welcome to Awakened Titans podcast with Lily Patrascu, mind-blowing conversations with influential business titans sharing how you can manifest abundance, love, joy, success through quantum awakening, quantum manifestation, quantum healing, quantum miracles, exponential business growth, and innovative products and services. Discover how to grow your business to 1 million followers in 90 days. In today's session, we have Dom Einhorn, and he is the founder of Masters of Trivia and Intelligent Games. And Intelligent Games is operating under the brand name Masters of Trivia and is a producer of gamified knowledge-based games consisting of trivia and quizzes in multiple languages. And his aim is to bring intelligent games to the masses while disrupting the way in which they are both played and monetized. And he's also the founder of the Born to Invest mobile app, which aims to become a dominant player in the mobile business news industry by providing readers with 80-word summaries aggregated and curated from the world's most trusted news sources. And he's the founder of Born to Invest investor acquisition campaigns for public companies. Born to Invest specializes in custom investor acquisition and lead generation campaigns on behalf of publicly traded companies in the US, UK, and other financial markets around the world. The first question is, what is the secret to your success?
Well, thanks for having me, Lily. Thank you, everybody, for who's listening or watching this segment. The secret to success for me is there is no secret. It's hard work, rolling up your sleeves, being disciplined, and sticking with what you envision to do for the long term, and giving yourself the opportunity to be persistent enough to carry on through many ups and downs and many failures. And if you're capable of doing that, you know, there is light at the end of the tunnel. The rainbow is right there waiting for you.
Thank you. So you've grown multiple companies to millions of subscribers. How can entrepreneurs grow their business to 1 million subscribers with short form content?
I think one of the first things we should discuss is how not to do it rather than how to do it. A lot of people expect to become instant celebrities, which does happen, but it's extremely rare. It all starts with one, is what I like to say, right? If you're capable of getting 1,000 people interested in what it is that you're doing, whether you're an author, a comedian, a doctor, an engineer, we all have very specific granular content that we can produce in which we have an area of specialty. We're all good at something. We're all excellent at something. And we're all bad at stuff, every single one of us. So if we focus on our strengths and we focus on what we are most passionate about, we can turn that interest into a following one at a time. We don't grow our following from 0 to 1 million overnight. Everybody knows that. We all grow it organically by interesting one person who may refer another, who may have a circle of influence that says, hey, you should check this out. This is very interesting. That's what you're also seeing a lot in the influencer sphere, especially in the podcast industry, where a lot of well-known podcasters bring on other podcasters with their own audience, and they basically piggyback on each other's audiences to grow organically. What we've decided to do at Intelligent Games is we decided to focus on the most granular unit of content that exists, which is a question about anything. And we turn these questions into games, into topical games. Any game you can possibly imagine that forms part of a quiz. So we have thousands of quizzes today. Our goal is to grow, just like Wikipedia, to 65, 70 million games within the next 12 to 18 months. The goal is to actually have a game on every topic in any language under the sun. So if you're looking at the way we're information gathering today, most of us still type a query into Google, whatever that query may be. And we either get a response that satisfies us. So if I'm typing in, what's the birth date for George Washington, I'm going to get the answer right away and I'm satisfied. But if I'm looking for something that requires more deeper and granular knowledge, I will likely gravitate to something like Wikipedia. And that's why Wikipedia on a monthly basis gets 30 billion page views, is because we all gravitate to Wikipedia to satisfy our hunger for knowledge. Now imagine if you could, and that's one of our missions, test your knowledge on any topic instantly. You read an article, you read a Wikipedia entry, you watch a TV show, a documentary online, or you watch a movie. Our quiz of the day today is Saving Private Ryan, which 26 years ago came out in the US on July 24th, 1998. You can instantly, after watching the game or before watching the game or before and after, test your knowledge with a quiz about that specific topic. Now, what's interesting about that is when you do that, you're engaging a very finite, a very defined audience of war movie fans, or more, even more specifically, people interested in that specific movie. So it's finite by definition, but that's great. What you want to do as an entrepreneur, no matter what it is that you're marketing, is you want to figure out what works on a one-off basis. In our case, that's a quiz, knowing that you can replicate it and scale it indefinitely. So in our scenario, in our business model, if we're able to attract 2,000 people to the quiz about Saving Private Ryan, we know we can create quizzes on any movie, on any TV show, on any topic under the sun, and exponentially grow our audience with the same exact unit of content, which is a quiz, and within that quiz, a number of questions that relate to the quiz that make that game.
Thank you. And what makes a game successful? Because I think that what makes it successful must be the fact that it's quite addictive and it's very engaging. So my question is, what makes a game so good that it becomes addictive and engaging, and it keeps, you can say, players hooked for hours on end, or for a long time? Because I think the benefit of having these entrepreneurs on the app is that if they are staying there for a long time, that's when the actual profit comes as well.
It's clear that the unique economics dictate that the more, I don't like the word addicting, I love the word engaging. We're not looking at creating addiction. It has a negative connotation for many reasons. We're all addicted to social media. We're all spending too much time on social media, and that we could be allocating towards something more productive. And I think that there's a clear distinction between what we're trying to accomplish and what regular gaming companies currently do, which is creating addiction patterns, which may carry over to other addictions, which is an unhealthy behavioral pattern. That's not what we want to do. In fact, what we're doing is we're identifying upstream from our game where these people are congregating, and we're engaging them this way. So, for example, the Saving Private Ryan movie, if you go on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on LinkedIn, they already have groups of hardcore fans of this movie. Now, what's interesting is when they're publishing a single image or a short video clip about the movie, very often it gets 25 to 50,000 likes, a lot of shares, et cetera, et cetera. But the buck stops there. So what we're creating is a level of engagement that is more intelligent, in brackets, than that, where we're basically telling now this fan of the movie, come over to Masters of Trivia, play this game, and now be truly engaged and test your knowledge, test your IQ. How much do you remember about this movie, right? How much don't you remember, right? And what's your score in a gamified environment? We have gamified the entire process. So the average quiz usually runs between 18 and 25 questions, which also is kind of like a remedy to ADD, because we want to get away from the 2-second attention span and really create what a podcast does, is deep engagement into a gaming and intelligent gaming funnel. So when we're actually bringing a person from social media, from a rapid scrolling environment into one of our games, they're sticking in there for an average of 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes, and they actually play one or more games, answering a series of 20 to 25 questions, right? So we're actually adding a layer of value and a much deeper level of engagement, and we're educating the user along the way while he's playing rather than just distracting him.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, I've seen a lot of quizzes on social media that I was interested in. So, for example, there were some quizzes around weight loss. There were some quizzes around being a modern, elegant woman. And what I'm interested in is, once let's say the entrepreneurs that you want to attract towards your business that will be completing the quiz, that are diehard fans of this particular topic that you have in your game, what happens after that? So once they have this quiz, they complete, let's say, 18 questions, 18 to 25 questions. And then how do you keep them engaged in the app once this happens?
Very good question. So clearly, as you've understood, we're drawing people in with a very specific game that's related to one of their core levels of interest. But we all know that we don't just watch Saving Private Ryan in our lives. We do other things as well, right? So the average person, on average, right, based upon our research, has anywhere between 4 and 7 topics that are really passionate about. Now, it could be watching movies, could be cooking, could be going to the theater, could be working out, a combination thereof, et cetera, et cetera. So what we're doing is basically drawing them in with one specific unit of content that we know they have a hardcore interest in. And then to keep them around, we send them teasers. The main teaser is our daily quiz, which is a timely topic, almost like word of the day, joke of the day, history fact of the day, right? We're basically trying to create the learning habit, a habit being the key. In other words, can you spend 5 minutes every single day on learning more and getting more deeply engaged into a timely topic? That topic could be a famous birthday, it could be Albert Einstein's birthday, it could be climate change, it could be domestic violence, it could be anything of the sort that is worthwhile digging in deeper and testing your knowledge on. So once we have a person in the funnel and they complete their first quiz, number one, they're going to get a score post short registration, instant registration. They're going to accrue coins that they can later redeem for merchandise. So there's the gamification aspect in there as well. But our objective is clearly to get eventually millions of people playing quizzes every single day, in particular, and starting with that daily quiz, which is kind of like, a general, overall, global, encompassing topic that could appeal to pretty much anybody on Earth. And the reason why I'm saying that is that in our early traction, what we're seeing a lot of adoption from developing countries, right? India, Pakistan, Philippines, Indonesia, Malaysia, etc., that have a hunger for knowledge, and they absolutely like the format that we've brought out, giving them learning economics in a bite-sized, in a snacking type of a program, and that's really what's engaging them most. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that our success is going to be measured by how many people abide by and buy into for free, because we're not charging to play the quizzes, into these unit economics that get them to learn more about a specific topic, rather than playing a game on end, like shooting people and shooting avatars and whatnot, which is not of interest to us at all. Our idea is to educate millions, potentially billions of people around the world about very, very granular and interesting topics.
That's so interesting. So imagine that you're going to create a game about branding or publishing or marketing. Um, Once you have people in with the quiz, which I'm very clear about, then you would kind of continuously ask them different questions that are also part of a smaller quizzes, and that's how you keep them engaged. Yes. And then after that, what happens to make sure that they actually stay on the app and they don't delete this app?
So the number one key of keeping them re-engaged, again, our motto is attract, engage, and retain, which should be pretty much the motto of any content-based business. How do you attract a user's attention the first time? How do you engage them a first time and keep them around, maybe play 1, 2, 3 games? And how to retain them over the long time, over the long term, which is the key to success, right? There are triggers from one to the other that we're using. One of the most powerful triggers are very targeted, very segmented push notifications. As you're playing the game, and if you're playing only sports and only basketball games within the environment, we're not going to send you a history quiz, or we're not going to even send you a golf quiz. We're going to send you the next basketball quiz, right? Unless you basically proactively tell us, I want to play something else, where we can bifurcate and identify what other areas of interest you have and deliver you content that you're likely to engage with. Now, the daily quiz, on the other hand, is meant to take people that have very granular interest level and widen their scope, widen their horizon, and make them aware that are more important topics that you should be aware of. And here is one way we can deliver to them, again, in a bite-sized fashion, quickly, efficiently. But the quickest way to get that across and the quickest way to convert one user from being attracted to engaged to being retained over the long term is via targeted push notifications and via habit creation, healthy habit creation of getting more and more people to learn as they go using the quiz format.
Thank you so much. Could you give me an example? Let's say if an entrepreneur has a property business or a restaurant, how could they use this for their business to grow to 1 million followers without having to tap into a new niche that they don't know so much about?
Yeah, so that's an excellent question. And I would say first and foremost, it's not meant for everyone. If you're having a local restaurant, you clearly have a very defined user base, usually within a 5 to 10 kilometer radius around your restaurant, unless you serve Michelin star rated food where people may be traveling from further away. So you first have to define your market, right? Where is it located geographically? Is it local? Is it regional? Is it national? Is it international? Clearly for us as an app, it's worldwide, and fortunately so, because our target market consists of 5.5 billion people around the world that have a mobile device. But if you're a restaurant, your target market may be 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 people. That being said, people still respond to what you have to offer, and you have to be able to convey that to your potential market using something that is quick, efficient, and cheap to produce and disseminate. And the key, once you have defined your unit economics, once you've defined your funnel, is to figure out how to attract the most people and do the same thing again, attract, engage, and retain. In the case of a restaurant, you want to first make them aware that your restaurant exists. That's attract. You would like to give them an incentive to come to your restaurant for the first time. Now you're engaging them. And once they're actually engaged and come to your restaurant and have their first meal, you want to provide to them an experience that is so great that they will keep coming back for years to come. And maybe even more so, let all their friends know via word of mouth, because that's the best marketing money can buy. Or can't buy because it's free. You cannot buy word of mouth. You just have to make your patrons as a restaurant owner happy. And that applies to restaurants, applies to dentists, applies to attorneys, applies to any service provider that works within a regional market. Anyone can figure out what kind of content they're good at, or have someone on staff or use someone to produce the kind of content. It could be written content, could be visual content, could be images, could be video, etc. But you have to be different from the rest. You have to basically build your own personal brand. Your own voice needs to come out. If you're, again, going to your example, a restaurant owner, there's probably one dish that you are convinced that you're doing better than anybody else. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't even start a restaurant, right? Because you're fanatical about food, and you believe that I'm going to start a restaurant because I believe that it could provide a dining experience that no one else can in my domain. Could be Italian food, Romanian food, because I think you're Romanian, any kind of cuisine. So now focus on that, right? Focus on what makes you unique, because what makes you unique also makes you different. The key in PR is to be different from the next person. In the US, I spent 25 years in the US. I'm half French, half German, but I spent 25 years in the US. We usually say, the old saying is, dog bites man is not news. Man bites dog, that's news. So try to be the man or the woman that bites the dog. What I mean by that, don't physically bite a dog, but do whatever it takes to stand out. So again, to your restaurant example, produce an amazing looking dish, take a photograph that's content, make it so compelling that, and you can test it before you even publish it with your friends and family. Oh my God, what is that? That looks so good, right? That looks so cool. And if you get that effect, then you're on to something, right? Because if your friends, family who know you look at this, it's like, wow, that looks amazing. What is this? Well, then you have something that's different, that stands out, or they wouldn't have said that, right? So use those triggers, those mental triggers, as directional opportunities telling you what is likely to work. So now you can post this picture on Facebook, on Instagram, etc. It could be a video as well, and create the curiosity. What is this, right? What kind of food is this? Because the next logical thing in the human mind is, what is this? This looks so good. I want to get some. Where can I get it? Well, come to my restaurant, right? You're going on fishing expeditions. So whatever you're using, that analogy of fishing expedition, looking for new clients, you're looking, when you're fishing, for those fishermen that are out there, with a hook by itself, you're never going to catch anything. You got to bait that hook. This is how you bait the hook. You produce content. Content is the hook. Now, if you're baiting the hook like anybody else and you're throwing it in the water, the fish have multiple choices. Oh, they all look, this looks all looks white, all looks boring. But if you're the only one that's baiting the hook in red, well, chances are that's where the fish is going to go to. That's what it's going to bite, right? It sounds logical because it is. Okay, humans are predictable, right? With AI tools that we have all access to today, it's staggering how predictable humans are and how predictable human behavior is. And when it comes to marketing, when it comes to customer acquisition, when it comes to branding, that is what we're tapping into. We're tapping into predictability. Why are we tapping into predictability? Because none of us have a magic glass, right? It's much easier to figure out what's not going to change than what's going to change over the next 3 to 5 years, especially with AI. Everybody has an opinion, and they all have one thing in common. They're all wrong, right? When we're looking at it in retrospect. But in 3 to 5 years from now, we're all still going to eat. We're going to wake up. We're going to brush our teeth. We're going to go to bed at night. We're most likely going to sleep on a bed, et cetera, et cetera. So focus on what is not changing, because that is predictable. Don't focus. Everybody tends to focus on what's going to change, how I'm going to catch the next thing and whatnot, right? 99% of the time, it's not going in the direction you anticipated. You just wasted your time. You just wasted your money. But if you focus instead on what's steady, on what's still going to be here 3, 5, 10 years from now, we're all human. We're all going to want to be with other humans. We want to congregate. We want to have a sense of community. So create that. More and more people today, because of technology, feel disconnected from other humans, which is logical, and they're seeking human connection. That's our nature. That's what we've been doing for 250,000 years. That's why social media worked so well. Oh my God, I can connect on my interest with other humans. Yes, behind the screen, but I remember a time, because I'm old enough, where I had pen pals around the world. I had to write a letter, and I had no idea who I was talking to. And it was amazing, because the mail would carry it through to them, and they would carry their letter back to me. Now I can connect instantly with images, with video. I can click on a button and talk to them. So that's why social media works, right? So let's not forget that. Basic human behavior is here today, and it's here to stay, will be here tomorrow. So if you're feeding in that, if you're producing a product or a service that satisfies that deep need that we all have to connect at a much deeper level, then you're onto something.
Wow, I love this idea of gamifying your content in order to build your business to 1 million subscribers. Thank you so much, and stay tuned to the next episode.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential business titans, providing you with the insights to awaken to your full potential, so you can get paid to be yourself, find true happiness, and manifest anything you desire.